What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We are going to begin our second Bible study in the book of Judges. So if you're just now tuning in, I'm going to give a little recap for those who have seen the last episode. The book of Judges is named after the type of leadership that is over Israel. Judges covers about 400 years. It takes place between the time of Joshua's death and near the beginning of Israel's monarchy. Monarchies are the kings. Now, these judges are not the officials in the courtrooms wearing the black robes with the gavel or sentencing people to 30 days in jail or nothing like that. These judges were deliverers or military leaders who God raised up to lead Israel. As I said in the last Bible study, there's two phrases that you're going to see repeated over and over throughout the scripture. And one is, the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. And two, shortly after that, you'll see where the children of Israel cried unto the Lord. Right now, the government, if you will, is a theocracy. And a theocracy is pretty much being ruled by God. These are the 12 judges of Israel discussed in the book of Judges. There are more judges discussed in the Bible. However, these are the ones that's only discussed in the book of Judges. Now, some's capitalized and some are not. That doesn't mean one's more important than the other. It just means the ones that's capitalized have more things written about them. Now, before we jump into chapter 2, I'd like to ask y'all to please hit subscribe, like this video, leave a comment. Let me know you're watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. That will also help my channel. The more you interact on it, the more comments that's on the video. A lot of people don't know this. It'll help the algorithm from YouTube figure out what my channel is about, and then it can start funneling it through searches when people's typing up certain things. So anybody looking for Bible studies, my videos will start to show up whenever they're searching for it. And hey, share the video with somebody. Let's get into chapter 2. An angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Bochum and said, I made you go up out of Egypt, and have brought you into the land which I swear unto your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you. Now, I like to pause right there. It says it's an angel of the Lord, right? And now when I first read this, it goes from an angel of the Lord to talking in the first person and saying things that clearly it was the Lord that did these things. So I'm saying it's an angel of the Lord, but he's talking as if he is the Lord. And the more research I've done on this, and the more I put thought into it, and I went back, and it took a lot of going back and researching, but it turns out that this is what they call a theophany. Now, a theophany is a manifestation of God in the Bible that is tangible to the human senses. It's often, but not always, in human form. For an example, like Moses, God was in the burning bush. That wasn't human form, but his presence was there. Remember, he told Moses to, remove your sandals, for you were walking on holy ground. The presence of God was there. That's why that ground was holy. God has appeared as human form on the earth many times in the Old Testament. Just to name a few. Genesis 18. The Lord appeared before Abraham right before he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Genesis 32. That's when Jacob wrestles with God. And then God changed his name to Israel. In Joshua chapter 5, he appeared to Joshua as captain of the host of the Lord. And I don't want you to think every time you see it says an angel of the Lord that it's not an angel of the Lord. It's automatically going to be God. No, that ain't so. You got to kind of pay attention to the context and what's said. It'll be made clear if that's God or not. And it definitely doesn't mean God is an angel. God is not an angel. He took a form. Now you got to understand that this is just a language to describe the appearance of God as man on the earth. Let's finish this out. So, he appears as the angel of the Lord. So God said, I made you go up out of Egypt, and have brought you into the land which I swear unto your fathers. And I said, I would never break my covenant with you. And you shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land. You shall make no covenant. And you shall throw down their altars. But you have not obeyed my voice. Why have you done this? Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out before you, but they shall be as thorns in your side, and their God shall be a snare unto you. And it came to pass, when the angel of the Lord spoke these words unto all the children of Israel, that the people lifted up their voice and wept. And they called the name of that place Bochum, and they sacrificed there unto the Lord. That angel of the Lord, whatever was there in front of them, it was A, either God, or B, it was an angel, but he was giving a message from the Lord, and that was God's voice coming through that angel. Either way, there was a body before them so everybody could see this body deliver this message. But it was speaking from the Lord. Okay, now to the next set of verses, starting at verse 6. It's like a retrospective. It's looking back at Joshua, things that's already happened. It's going to give you a glimpse of what's about to take place, giving you an idea of everything that's about to happen, how Israel is going to fall away from the Lord, and how this cycle is going to start going over and over. Let's begin. And when Joshua had led the people go, the children of Israel went every man into his inheritance to possess the land. And the people served the Lord all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders that outlived Joshua, who had seen all the great works of the Lord that he did for Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old. And they buried him in the border of his inheritance, in the Timnah-Heres, in the mount of Ephraim, on the north side of the hill Gash. And also all that generation were gathered unto their fathers, and there arose another generation after them, which knew not the Lord, nor yet the works which he had done for Israel. Now, if you got your highlighters like I asked y'all to, get your orange highlighter and highlight this. This is what I told you, you're going to see repetitive, this phrase. Verse 11, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and served Balaam. Now, Balaam is the false gods, the Baals. That's something you'll see. Later on you'll see the Baals and the Ashtoreths. That's the false gods from the Canaanites that they serve. And there's different versions of Baal that they serve. God of this, God of fertility, God of that. And they name them, but they got Baal in their name. And like I said, you also see Ashtoreth. So Ashtoreth is like the female god. Verse 12. And they forsook the Lord God of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods, of the gods of the people that were around them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked the Lord to anger. And they forsook the Lord, and served Baal and Ashtoreth. Jesus, if you remember they accused him of casting out demons in the name of Beelzebub, and he corrected him and said, as Satan casting out Satan, that don't make no sense. Verse 14, and the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them, and he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies. So God allowed them to get captured. Verse 15, whithersoever they went out, the hand of the Lord was against them for evil, as the Lord had said, and as the Lord had sworn unto them, and they were greatly distressed. And nevertheless the Lord raised up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. And yet they would not hearken unto their judges, but they went a-whoring after other gods, and bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Lord, but they did not so. And when the Lord raised them up judges, then the Lord was with the judge, and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it repented the Lord because of their groanings, by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them. And it came to pass, when the judge was dead, that they returned and corrupted themselves more than their fathers in following other gods to serve them, and to bow down unto them. And they ceased not from their own doings, and nor from their stubborn ways. So it's letting you know, just like the chart at the top, it says Israel serves the Lord. Then when their judge dies, whoever was leading them in that generation that knew the Lord, knew the works, and there's witnesses for the Lord. A new generation comes up, and it says Israel falls into the sin and idolatry. Then God gets angry, and then Israel gets oppressed by the enemies. Then they cry out to the Lord. Being so, God has compassion on them. And just told you in verse 18 that God would have compassion on them. He raised up someone to deliver them out of the hands that they got captured from. And then they go back to serving the Lord. And then you see that they start falling away from God. And it says they fall away worse than their fathers before them were. So it gets worse every time. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel. And he said, because that this people has transgressed my covenant which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened unto my voice, I will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations which Joshua left when he died, that through them I may prove Israel, whether they will keep the way of the Lord to walk therein, as their fathers did keep it, or not. Therefore the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily, neither delivered he them into the hand of Joshua. Verse 22 says, that through them I may prove Israel. Circle that for me. You can see it in other translations, but from the Hebrew it says prove or test. So he's going to test them by allowing all this to happen. Okay? He's going to see if they actually turn to him, which they eventually do. Chapter 3, now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel had not known all the wars of Canaan. When it says have not known, that means they haven't experienced the wars of Canaan. Verse 2, only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war, at the least such as before knew nothing thereof. So God did this to teach warfare to the descendants of the Israelites who had no previous battle experience, namely 5 lords of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Sidonians, and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal-Hermon unto the entering of Hamath. And they were to prove, there's that word again, and they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, Hittites, and the Amorites, and Perizzites, and Hivites, and Jebusites. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. Circle that. And they served their gods. Now, get your orange highlighter and highlight this. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and forgot the Lord their God, and served Balaam and the groves. So, they've turned completely away from God, started serving other gods. So now verse 8. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia. And the children of Israel served Cushan-Rishathaim 8 years. So they've been oppressed by them for 8 years. So get your purple highlighter and highlight verse 9 where it says, and when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord. There's your pattern. So for 8 years long, all of Israel is now crying out to their Lord God. And the Lord raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel, who delivered them, even Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. And remember Othniel, he was in chapter 1. Othniel was, as it says right there, Caleb's nephew. And he married also Caleb's daughter. So Othniel married his cousin. So verse 10, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel, and went out into war. And the Lord delivered Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand. And his hand prevailed against Cushan-Rishathaim. And the land had rest 40 years, and Othniel the son of Kenaz died. Circle or highlight another color those dates. 8 years they were oppressed. And then after Othniel was raised up as a judge, said the land had rest for 40 years. So he judged Israel for 40 years until he died. That was our first judge. So now verse 12. Get your orange highlighter out again. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. Eglon, king of Moab. That's another character we are now introduced to. I do believe you're going to end up remembering like I do. Eglon, the king of Moab. And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel, and possessed the city of palm trees. 14. So the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years. Man, that's 10 years longer than before. 18 years. That is a long time. Verse 15. Break out your purple highlighter. But when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised them up a deliverer. Ehud, the son of Gera, a Benjamite, a man left-handed. And by him the children of Israel sent a present unto Eglon, the king of Moab. Let's pause right there. Why do you think that in Scripture it was noted that he was a left-handed man? Well, look at it like this. Even in sports, a left-handed person has a slight advantage over the rest because majority of the world is right-handed. You know, even in boxing, you know, most boxers, when they're taught to fight, they're used to fighting other right-handed boxers. You put them a little bit more power behind their right hand. They're prepared for that right hand. They know how to dodge and weave that right hand. They know from where it's coming from. Left-handed man's completely the opposite. They'll fake them. They're trained that way. They'll make you think that you're right-handed and then come from the left and surprise you with that powerful hit. These deliverers, they are military leaders. They're warriors. How do you think a left-handed person would be an advantage? And the next thing it says after that points out he's a left-handed man and lets them know that Israel sent a present to Eglon, king of Moab. So we're already jumping into it. He's already raised as a deliverer. Now Israel's got something up their sleeve. They're sending a present to the king of Moab. It says verse 16. But Ehud made him a dagger which had 2 edges of a cubit length, and he did gird it under his raiment upon his right thigh. So it's already giving us an idea. It's up under his right thigh. A right-handed person would have put it up under his left thigh. And I looked this up. I didn't know how long a cubit length was, but a cubit length is 18 inches. So it's about 1.5 feet. That's about how long it is. It says under his raiment upon his right thigh. So he's got it up under his robe or his garments. Verse 17. And he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab. And Eglon was a very fat man. Just as blunt. I don't know why that surprised me when I read that. I'm reading the Bible. That just threw me off guard. So King Eglon was a very fat man. So I'm picturing like Jabba the Hutt. So anyway, verse 18. And when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people that bare the present. But he himself turned again from the quarries that were by Gilgal and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king, who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him went out from him. So if you can imagine this, he's letting you know, hey, but I've got a secret present, and there's still some of his people still there, right? It's like his guards or his workers. So whoever could hear in hearing distance, he goes, hold, before you speak anymore. Hey, y'all got to go. Get out of here. So it's just Ehud and Eglon, just them two. And Ehud came unto him, and he was sitting in a summer parlor, which he had for himself alone. And Ehud said, I have a message from God unto thee. And he arose out of his seat. So he walked up to him and said, hey, I've got a message from God for you. And then the king went and stood up out of his seat. Verse 21. And Ehud put And Ehud put forth his left hand and took the dagger from his right thigh and thrust it into his belly. And the haft, now the haft means the handle of the blade, the handle of the dagger. That's what the haft is. So, and the handle also went in after the blade, and the fat closed upon the blade, so that he could not draw the dagger out of his belly. So he thrust the dagger and stabbed him in the stomach so far that it's pretty much said all his fat sucked in the whole blade where he couldn't even get it back out. That's how fat this king was. He could, handle and all, gone. And the dirt came out. I had an idea what that was, but I kind of looked that up. I've looked at other translations. You know, you can look up on Google and it'll break down Hebrew stuff, because you know there's no direct word for English or a direct word for Spanish or a direct word from any other language when you're translating another language to another language. So there were several things that derive from the word from Hebrew for that word. They came up with dirt back then when King James had this translated. But it's his bowels. It's his bowels. So his stuff came out everywhere. Then Ehud went forth through the porch and shut the doors of the parlor upon him and locked them. So homeboy's jumping out on the porch, shutting everything down, locking it. He's getting out. And when he was gone out, his servants came, and when they saw that, behold, the doors of the parlor were locked, they said, surely he covereth his feet in his summer chamber. Covereth his feet. They thought he was in the bathroom. That was like a slang term for I got to go to the bathroom. He covered his feet. You know, they had robes. Most of them wore robes and stuff like that. So when you drop your robe, it's covering your feet. They thought he was in the bathroom. Why did they think he was in the bathroom? Because the door's locked and they smell his bowels discharged. So verse 25, and they tarried till they were ashamed. And behold, he opened not the doors of the parlor. Therefore they took a key and opened them. And behold, their Lord was fallen down dead on the earth. So they waited around. We don't know how long they waited. But they waited and waited and waited and waited.
2 hours later.
Until the point of embarrassment, pretty much. And they said, man, we got to go check on him, man. So they went and found the key. They unlocked it, opened it up, and he's dead there laying on the floor. Meanwhile, verse 26 says, and Ehud escaped while they tarried. So while they were waiting around before they even unlocked the door, Ehud was getting it, son. He was gone. And Ehud escaped while they tarried and passed beyond the quarries and escaped from Syriath. And it came to pass, when he was come, that he blew a trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down with him from the mount, and he before them. So he blew a trumpet to let them know, yo, I'm out. We made it. And now he's going to make an announcement. So I can picture this. He's before all of Israel who's been waiting on him to come back. They knew what he was going to do, and now he's come back. He's blew his trumpet, and now the way I'm picturing is he's standing in front of a multitude of soldiers, and he's giving them this speech right before they go into battle. And he's saying this, verse 28. And he said to them, follow after me, for the Lord hath delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. And they went down after him, and took the fords of Jordan toward Moab, and suffered not a man to pass over. And they slew of Moab at the time about 10,000 men, all lusty and all men of valor, and there escaped not a man. I didn't know what two of those words meant, but I looked it up. Lusty means healthy and strong, full of vigor. And valor means full of courage in the face of danger. So Israel, the Moabites that they're killing, they're not just killing poor little farmers that they may go out and fight, or these poor little people like me that don't know nothing about battle, and they just going around killing through these people. No, they're letting you know these are warriors. These are tough people. These are healthy and strong, full of vigor. They're full of courage in the face of danger. These are elite warriors that they are just running through. And why are they running through them? Because God is behind them. So verse 30, so Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest 80 years. There we see score again. So 80. Remember, score is 20. So 4 times 20. So 80 years they had peace. They were following God. That is going to be the longest peace in Israel that you're going to hear about in the book of Judges. That was a wild story. I never would have imagined that they were that graphic of a scene would have been in the Bible. This is something that I guess intrigued me when I read through it. I'm like, man, that's crazy. That's a wild scene to imagine while reading the Bible, but it's in there. And this is just the first twisted story that you're going to read here in the book of Judges. We're about to be introduced to our third judge. So verse 31, and after him was Shamgar, the son of Anath, which slew of the Philistines 600 men with an ox goad, and he also delivered Israel. That's all you get. One verse. We don't get anything about him. We don't know where he's from. What he did during his rule. We don't know none of that. But all we get is one verse for him. An ox goad. All right. An ox goad is like this long staff. One end has got a pointy tip. The other end has got like a spade at the end. It's metal. And they use this when plowing with oxes or whatever you have pulling your plow. You know, the pointy ends to poke in the back of the butt for the ox to keep him moving. And the spade part of it on the other side is to knock the dirt off the plow, you know, so it stay clean as it keeps tilling up the ground. And it specifically says he killed 600 men. It didn't say with help of anybody. He killed 600 men solely with an ox goad. I could make a movie off that one verse. You know, can't you just picture like some action star like Jason Statham, Shamgar? But anyway, we just ran through 2 chapters. I know it seemed pretty quick. I'm just trying to get onto it today. Of course, go back, pause it, highlight, write your notes, make sticky notes. If there's something else that I rushed over that you didn't see or didn't understand, pause it, look it up. Leave something in the comments. If I left something out, you know, engage with me. Let me know something. If there's something that you noticed or something I didn't talk about. This is a Bible study. I don't claim to know everything. I mean, I've learned a lot just by studying these, just by teaching this at church. You know, the more I go over it, the more I read it, the more things stand out to me. So I'm enjoying this. We've got a lot more coverage to go over. I hope y'all are enjoying this. Like I said, if you could, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment. I love y'all, and God bless.